9 more asylum seekers died in the first half of 2023 than the Home Office disclosed. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline of 9 more asylum seekers had died in the first half of 2023 than the Home Office disclosed. 2 Freedom of Information requests received different data, with one showing 14 people rather than 5 had died while living in asylum accommodation. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share across social media so others are notified of this video. While there are many people who don't like asylum seekers or don't like immigrants and whatnot here in our country, and I vehemently think that immigration and migration is an important thing, and I think we do need it in this country, and you can disagree with me on that. The fact that people have died at the hands of the Home Office responsibility and ownership and looking after these people while their asylum claim has been processed is nothing short of unacceptable, in every way, shape or form. They still need to be looked after. They are still human beings with emotions and feelings. They are not just a number, a statistic. They are people. Wherever they've come from, they are still people. Just because they're not British doesn't mean that they shouldn't be left to rot and die in a corner somewhere. And this is pretty atrocious from the Home Office. We know that they haven't been treating people well anyway. We know the Home Office has failed categorically when it comes to the handling of the immigration and migration system. And it comes across to me, this headline is that the Home Office has tried to be deceitful about the amount of people that have died under its watch, under the companies that he has contracted out as well to look after them. So I think it's a case of the Home Office is just trying to kind of shove it under the carpet, because they've already had so much damage and reputation's been tarnished by their handling of migration and immigration over the last several years. And they're looking at anything to point the fingers elsewhere. But another 9 more people lost their lives that didn't need to lose their lives, guys. So 3 times as many asylum seekers died during the first 6 months of last year than the Home Office disclosed in official information that has emerged. Earlier in March, The Guardian reported on a Freedom of Information response from the Home Office to an organisation called the Civil Fleet, a news blog that focuses on support for refugee rescue and support missions across Europe. In that Freedom of Information response, the Home Office confirmed there had been 5 deaths in asylum seeker accommodation between January and June last year. After publication of the article, The Guardian was approached by another Freedom of Information applicant who said he had obtained deaths in asylum accommodation data for that same period, revealing almost 3 times as many deaths, 14 rather than 5. Home Office sources confirmed that the reasons for the last discrepancy between the information disclosed and the 2 questions apparently asking the same question was officials' interpretation of the word "in." Really? They consider that they are not required to disclose information about people who died while living in Home Office accommodation if they physically died elsewhere. For example, if they have a heart attack inside of accommodation but were taken to hospital where they died, the sources added that it is a requirement for all Home Office accommodation contractors to report any deaths of asylum seekers in their care within 4 hours. So there could have been a case, so it's entirely possible that some of these may have been cases that it's not been directly in the hands of the Home Office, but those in contractors, like I said, contractors, private companies that the taxpayers are paying for to look after them, they may have died and that information hasn't been given to the Home Office. So it could be seen as a bit of a get out jail free card to say on the Home Office part, but it is still their ownership responsibility as their role to ensure that the asylum immigration process is dealt with. So still the buck still stops with the Home Office at the end of the day, despite the fact that they say that they can't if it's not directly in their hands, they can't say it's not their fault. But the buck still stops with them at the end of the day on this. The second questionnaire added that they meant all cases where this accommodation was the last known address, not a phase everyone seeking this information would know to include. There's been a lot of cases where addresses have not been updated or not included, and people have ended up in the as well, which has been a problem as well. Human rights campaigners have condemned the Home Office for a lack of transparency and accountability about these deaths, especially at a time when concerns are mounting about an increase in mental health problems and suicide attempts among asylum seekers who may have pre-existing traumas after fleeing conflict zones. This is alone the distress at the immediate threat of being sent to Rwanda and despair experienced at controversial mass accommodation sites such as the Bibi Stockholm barge in Portland, Dorset and the Wethersfield in Essex. The ICO has ordered the Home Office to disclose the civil fleet by the 4th of April, which has already been disclosed to the second questionnaire. It has obtained data for the whole of last year, revealing that there were 22 deaths, including 16 so far unexplained. Those who died from as many different parts of the world, including the Middle East, Africa and South America. Many were in their 20s, 30s, and 19-year-old man from Iran died last December in the Midlands. His death has been classified as unexplained, as has the death in Leonardo Faku, a 27-year-old Albanian man who died on the Bibi Stockholm on the same month after reportedly taking his own life. Deborah Coles, the director of the inquest, said, "The fact that if you had a few obscure words of freedom of information request, you get a response revealing 3 times as many deaths of asylum seekers while in the care of the Home Office is deeply concerning. This is a deliberate attempt by the government to try and conceal the truth about exactly how many people are dying in their accommodation. In line with the spirit and letter of freedom of information laws, Home Office needs to be transparent and accountable for how many people are dying in what circumstances. We know what the Home Office policies have a negative impact on asylum seekers' health, and in some of these deaths, including those of young people, may be avoidable and needs to be independently scrutinised." And they do need to be independently scrutinised if that is the case. But one loss of life is still too many. In all seriousness, it's just we've covered so many stories about how the mishandling of the Home Office when it comes to migration, asylum seekers, the border controls, they are really just done an absolute pathetic job of managing things. Now, it's also important to add that the civil service had been cut as well. So when it comes to processing, they had their civil service cut over the last 14 years under Conservatives as well. So that's also played a factor in it. So asylum claims are not processed as quick as they should be. So you have more people stuck in these situations, whether it's accommodation, barges, RAF bases, and whatnots in places as well. So the Home Office has obviously not got to grips with it as well. The fact that people are dying people are actually dying in these places is quite shocking, to say the least. Now, it's entirely possible that it could be a case of their health or conditions that they may or may not have that they don't know about initially when they arrive. That is entirely possible. However, especially when you look back at the one where the man took his own life on the barge, is still one that really kind of haunts me to a little bit, to thinking, why did that happen? How did that happen? What have we learned from those mistakes? And I still think the Home Office just does not care about these people. These are still human beings, these are still lives, and they need to be looked after. But until their decision has been made on whether to accept their asylum claim or not. And it's important to remember that. But what do you guys think? What do you make of this? 9 more asylum seekers died in the first half of 2023. So is the Home Office actually trying to cover up the true figures, do you think? Is the Home Office doing everything it possibly can? Should they be doing more? What are you guys' thoughts on this situation right now? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.